On March 25, 2025, in West Memphis, Arkansas, Trooper Evans spots a white Ford Edge wearing a Tennessee plate reported as stolen. And when the plate doesn't match the vehicle, it's almost always a stolen ride. This one, a perfect 10 out of 10. Before backup can even get there, the driver makes the classic move of someone with no license and an active warrant, slamming the gas and shooting straight out of the Exxon parking lot.
Should be Bravo Delta X-ray 9090.
1037. Taking off on.
23 on building 40. Service road, heading westbound.
The Ford Edge blows past 4 "Do Not Enter" signs like they were nothing, jumps into oncoming lanes, and immediately sends drivers scrambling to avoid a deadly crash. At one moment, a sedan has no choice but to swerve into another lane to avoid a head-on hit. And if you're thinking it can't possibly get worse than this, just hold on. The suspect then merges onto Interstate 40 going the wrong way.
What's the synchronometer cause?
What's the location? We're at the 281 westbound. We're coming up to MLK now.
Shoot.
This SUV barrels the wrong way at 60 mph, passing 49 vehicles like he's in some real-life survival game. Most people panic when they miss an exit. This guy missed the entire idea of traffic laws. And once the suspect finally exited the interstate, the trooper knew it was time to shut this down. The SUV gets knocked off the road, and instantly it turns into a foot chase. Both suspects sprint across a field toward the railroad tracks, but adrenaline only works for so long. Orange is grabbed first, Harris a few seconds later, and that's where the running ends. In the end, Harris and Orange both end up in jail facing a laundry list of charges: reckless driving, fleeing, theft by receiving, possession of auto theft tools, no insurance, and enough traffic violations to overflow a ticket book. The Ford Edge was confirmed stolen, the tag was stolen, and these two were definitely not criminal masterminds. In Los Angeles on July 12, 2025, 2 teenagers in a stolen Dodge Charger decided they could outsmart the LAPD helicopter tracking them from above. And if you've ever seen an LA pursuit, you already know that's a terrible plan. Fun fact, no one has ever outrun an LAPD helicopter. Ever. But these two were determined to try, turning the 110 freeway into their own personal racetrack.
T52 exit Pico. Speeds of over 70.
Over 170.
Stop! LA 15, a 52, making a right onto Pico. 1020.
1553, going to left on Figueroa. S4,
LA 1552 just ran through a red, light traffic.
1552 ran through a red, light traffic.
LAPD Air 3 on the black northbound Figueroa approaching Olympic.
LAPD Air 3 northbound Figueroa approach.
LA 55 to permission.
Westbound Olympic from Figueroa.
Westbound Olympic from Figueroa. 52.
Please be advised, you took this route earlier. It's possibly going to get back on the 110 south.
CHP officers intercepted the Charger near Vernon Avenue, and instantly the entire mood shifted. The pursuit went from chaotic to extremely dangerous. The teens shot across multiple freeways, dove into surface streets, squeezed between cars, and pushed that Charger to its limits because, well, it was stolen.
Back on the 110 south.
Northbound 1 over the 110. Air 3
Be getting on the 110 south about 50 miles an hour. 110 south from Olympic.
Air 3 northbound 110, 50 miles an hour from Olympic. Air 3 up.
Light traffic. Light traffic. Speed's over 100.
This is going to be light, about 80 to 90 miles an hour.
Air 3 light traffic, 80 to 90 miles an hour.
Yep, sentry off. Sentry off.
Southbound 110 at Century.
That's Century from the 110.
Exiting from the 110.
The pursuit stretched across Los Angeles like a domino chain of bad decisions, until CHP finally spotted the opening they've been waiting for.
Southbound Grand coming for 108.
Clear left.
Air 3
Yeah, clear
southbound
lanes for me,
Grand.
okay? Clear lanes for me. Approaching 111.
Go with the speed, approaching 111.
It's going to be a
Let me see your hands! Open the doors! Roll down the window! You can open it, yeah! All right, face the car. Face the car. Hop out, face the car!
The real twist didn't surface until later that night. When the tow yard inspected the Charger, they found a loaded Glock with a 14-round magazine. No registered owner, no explanation. The driver, Antoine Yvonne Aguilar, was booked for vehicle theft and felony evasion. The passenger, Anthony Vera Morelos, had an active warrant waiting for him and went straight to jail. It was May 28, 2021, when a trooper in Talbot County clocked a gray Nissan flying at 103 mph in a 65 zone. But here's the twist. Inside that speeding car wasn't just a driver and a passenger. There was also a baby strapped into a car seat, because apparently nothing says family bonding quite like a felony-level pursuit.
Hey there, what's going on, boss? I'm gonna stay on Steve on work. Alright, let me get your driver's license, boss. Yes, sir, miss. We ain't gonna step on out the car for me real quick, boss.
When the trooper walked up, the driver, later identified as Antoine Barnes, admitted his license was suspended. But instead of facing the situation, he glanced at his passenger, grabbed the gear shifter, and took off with the hazard lights on, which might be the most ironic part of this entire chase. Barnes tore down State Route 96 at over 110 mph, slicing through traffic. The trooper tried to give him a chance to stop safely, especially with that baby in the back seat. But Barnes wanted none of it. He crossed into oncoming lanes, ignored every command, and kept pushing harder.
State Route 22. State Route 41.
Over.
Westbound. Don't go.
I'm listening. Yeah, well, we're trying to.
Eventually, the trooper decided enough was enough. After waiting for a clean stretch of roadway, he lined up his patrol car and prepared for a pit maneuver to bring the chase to an end. The baby was unharmed, the mother was shaken. And Barnes? He claimed he ran because he was scared. Turns out he actually had plenty to be afraid of. The name he first gave wasn't even real. His license was suspended, and he had multiple active warrants for robbery, theft, and probation violation. So that leaves one question. If your rap sheet is already that long, why add fleeing with a baby in the car to it? Maybe Barnes had a very different idea of what family time means. If you've ever wondered what happens when someone steals a Porsche Cayenne and decides to treat rush hour traffic like a Need for Speed tutorial, this is the episode for you. Happening in Little Rock, Arkansas on July 15th, 2023. Around 10 p.m., Little Rock PD called for backup. They were chasing a stolen Porsche driven by a guy in a bright red hoodie, making him the easiest suspect to identify since Waldo.
This is primary and secondary on fire. This is continuing northbound and Facebook. Speeding about 45 right there. Right here in front of you. On Facebook. They're going to say, right there. Stop right here, the Gina Street, that's the right spot first. And I'll be trying to go. I'm trying to get this thing fit.
And then came the classic stolen car move. All three occupants bailed, sprinted across the interstate, and disappeared into the woods. But one of them forgot the #1 rule of fleeing suspects. Don't wear a bright red hoodie at night when the cops have flashlights. The driver, along with the modified Glock, was turned over to Little Rock PD. The two passengers pulled a disappearing act into the woods, but with evidence like this, it's probably only a matter of time before their luck runs out. It was December 23rd, 2021, when a Garden City officer reported a black SUV fleeing a traffic stop. And even though they weren't pursuing, the SUV made itself impossible to miss. It blasted past Trooper Belshore at high speed, ran a red light, and immediately dove into the wrong lanes like it was trying to speed run. How to cause a head-on collision.
Down 11.
Show me 1080.
Right. 911, you said 1080?
10-4 heading east on Bay Street into Savannah. East on Bay Street into Savannah. Coming up 516. We're getting on Augusta Ave, He tries to make this turn. I'm going to try to pit him. He's extremely reckless. Clear.
Negative.
Still heading east on Augusta, coming past.
Driving 80 in a 40 mph zone while weaving through traffic doesn't make you a better driver. It just makes your court date longer. From Augusta Avenue to Newell Street to Leop Avenue, Marcus treated every stop sign like decoration. And every time traffic slowed him down, he simply jumped into oncoming lanes or dipped into turn lanes that weren't meant for him.
Back into Savannah.
It's a black in color. Looks like a Mercedes SUV, 28's out of Georgia. Tom Adam Victor, 7432. TAB, 7432. Never mind, it's Tom Adam X-Ray. Tom Adam X-Ray, 7432.
4911.
We're on Newell Street, heading toward Lathrop.
And this is where things got serious. This was downtown Savannah. Pedestrians everywhere, tourists walking around, kids nearby. The kind of setting where one wrong move can turn a chase into a tragedy. Within seconds, Trooper Belshore realized he had to end it right now.
Never mind, we're making a left on Bay. Clear, clear. He's turn around.
Delta 1, go ahead.
Give me some Savannah units up here. I'm about to pit them around.
The driver, Marcus White, bailed out and ran. But after the trooper warned he'd deploy the taser, Marcus learned the hard way that running only delays the inevitable. Inside the SUV, troopers found over a pound of marijuana, dozens of baggies, a scale, methadone pills, basically everything you'd need to open a roadside pharmacy. Marcus was arrested and charged with DUI, reckless driving, fleeing, and more.
All right, here.
On August 9th in Detroit, 2 Michigan State troopers were finishing up a traffic stop when chaos erupted across the street. Gunshots rang out, and a suspect jumped back into his vehicle. The moment the troopers saw that door slam shut, everything shifted. The stop turned into a pursuit, and the chase was on.
7524. Turning in the liquor store off of Illinois.
We're heading that way.
Yes, sir.
20 modified track 6.
Sir.
Yeah, we got Bravo 34.
Yes. All right, we're going to get Keegan on westbound 96 from Illinois.
The suspect shot onto the interstate, but it was obvious he wouldn't last long there either. Every turn he made was more reckless than the last, weaving through traffic, cutting off cars, and pushing speeds that had no place on a public roadway. And with an armed suspect who had already fired shots, more units rushed in. Everyone knew this wasn't just a pursuit anymore. It was a race to stop someone who had already shown he was willing to shoot.
Okay, going for the driver. Right there.
Please allow me.
Wrong. Hang on one second.
But approaching passing over.
As the chase continued, it became clear the suspect's front tire was starting to give out. But even riding on a failing wheel, he was still too unpredictable for a single unit to pit safely. All the trooper could do was hold position and wait. And sure enough, a second unit joined in moments later.
Joey Road. Alright, looks like we are going to be through Livernois. Find Joey Road, going eastbound.
Cody, come up front. Going to the mountain. Come up front. I'm going front. Stop.
We got 2 units right now at Grand River.
Stop. Break.
Put your hands behind your back. Come here!
Both suspects bailed out and tried to run, but they didn't make it far. Within seconds, troopers closed in, took them down, and had them in handcuffs. Just like that, the chaos was over. Both men were taken into custody, ending this dangerous pursuit and sending the gunman straight to justice. There's no official report released on this incident, but hopefully after a well-earned stay in jail, these two finally learned their lesson. It was December 16th, 2023, and what began as a simple lane change violation was about to turn into a rolling drug dumping operation across western Arkansas. Trooper Nelson was sitting in the median when a black Chrysler 200 drifted past him, casually switching lanes without using a turn signal. The moment Nelson flipped on his lights, the Chrysler punched the gas and shot westbound like the very idea of a traffic stop was offensive. That's when Sergeant Roy Moomey jumped in as primary, and immediately the suspects started doing what panicked suspects always do, tossing baggies out the window like they were trying to delete evidence in a video game.
I'll call it. Force number 1037. 1047. Speed taking 540 south. Yellow.
540 southbound. What are your speeds?
97. Get the fire set up somewhere. My bad, I'll call it. Northwest on secondary. 2A. Yep. Heavy traffic.
2A, heavy traffic.
You got still flying out. Beat 111, past 1, coming up to exit 3.
That's where 1A speeds 111.
We're trying to fit him now. Now, y'all be aware if he's 50, it's going to be shut down pretty quick, so just be mindful of that.
Chase progressed on Interstate 540, passing cars on the shoulder at high speeds, weaving into the grass 2435 median, and even tossing a full backpack off the Arkansas River Bridge. That's when you just know they're not running 2441 from a ticket. There's something big in that bag.
He may lose it there.
He leaves it there. Speed to 100. Enforcement coming up 29, trying to get a 50 out. Medium. Now we got a little bit of heavy traffic up here. Trying to get these boxed in a little bit. Stay down 50 miles. 17, hold the traffic back there, hold the traffic back there. Yeah, enforcement.
Whether it's low speed or high speed, it doesn't matter. Corporal Matt Price found his moment on the river bridge and executed a flawless tactical vehicle intervention. Troopers recovered the tossed backpack, and that's when everything made sense. 226 grams of marijuana, 446 grams of meth, plus more baggies scattered along the roadway. All three suspects denied owning any of it, apparently suggesting the drugs magically appeared and followed them there. All three, Brown Otter, Page, and Shepard, were arrested and taken to the Crawford County Detention Center on a list of charges long enough to need its own table of contents. On October 7th, 2022, things escalated far beyond a casual Dodge versus Troopers pursuit. Troopers were already on alert after Clayton County issued a BOLO for a white Dodge Charger connected to a homicide, stolen the night before, and likely still occupied by their prime suspect. Trooper Camerad spotted it first, then troopers boxed the Charger in, weapons drawn, commands booming through the PA system. For a moment, the driver pretended to comply, but it was exactly like that moment in every horror movie when you want to shout at the screen, "Don't fall for it."
Catching out lock. We're back in.
Got a pit. Got a pit. Let me see it!
The Charger spun into the grass, tried to claw its way back onto the road, but Trooper Camerad didn't give it the chance. He drove it hard into a ditch. Then came the part no officer ever wants to face. The suspect refused to get out, kept revving the engine, and no one could see where his hands were. So troopers brought out their last resort option, K9 Figo. But before Figo could secure the suspect, deputies shouted the words that changed everything. "He's got a gun."
Fusion command.
Hello. Hey. Pass up.
A single gunshot erupted from inside the car. Seconds later, multiple officers returned fire, and the scene went silent. Figo was pulled out and rushed to a vet. The homicide suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. If you've watched enough pursuits on this channel, you know how fast things can go from chaotic to deadly. But what about you? What's your take? Should troopers deploy a K9 on an armed suspect barricaded inside a vehicle? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think about how this one played out. On December 5th, 2021, Perry County deputies had just chased him through the city limits when he jumped into a stolen green Chevy S10 and sped off. Trooper Belshore spotted the stolen truck blasting through a four-way stop without even pretending to slow down. Seconds later, the pursuit kicked off on State Highway 60, with Dewey pushing that old S10 to nearly 100 miles.
He's not letting me.
Okay, be patient. Just wait your opportunity and put him in the ditch.
10-4, we're still west on Highway 60. I'm trying to get a location. I've got a deputy in front of me. hour.
Yeah, for
Advise Ola PD.
Every time the trooper tried to move in for a pit, Dwight swerved into the center of the road like he was lining up as a defensive lineman. And fun fact, most PITE-resistant driving ends the same exact way. The suspect eventually runs out of road.
We're turning on Crowley Lane, Crowley Lane.
This time, DeWeiss realized his luck, in his meth pipe, had officially run out. He was pulled from the truck at gunpoint and cuffed before he could even think about taking off again. Deputies found the meth pipe sitting right on the seat because apparently hiding evidence wasn't part of his escape strategy. DeWeiss was booked on more charges than the truck had miles: felony fleeing, felony theft by receiving, reckless driving, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. Because of course his license was suspended, the stolen Chevy was returned to its owner with only minor damage. Honestly, it held up better than DeWeiss's plan.